Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be painting a Mother's Day bookmark today. It's really something you can do, bookmark, greeting card, all sorts of fun stuff, but it's very simple and just takes a few colors. I mean, you can obviously do this in whatever colors you like, but I like to I don't know what, it's like a kind of a soft purplish organic color. So I mix purple, blue, and a green together to make this, I don't know, peacocky little mix of colors. None of that was technical, but that's what I like to do. So we are just going to be doing a 4 petal flower, and you can use the great thing about this, and I tell this to my students too, is that your brush is kind of the shape of what you want a petal to be anyway, so just utilize that. So I'm just doing these 4 petal, and you really want it more like a plus sign. This is my first one I'm doing, so still figuring out the kinks of it, but just go with a plus sign, and then uh, I end up going a little bit lighter towards the end, which I like better, but you can do whatever you like. So if you're doing this for Mother's Day, then maybe do your mom's favorite colors or your favorite colors or a combination of both of your favorite colors, bringing it together, whatever you like to do. But uh, I, I mean, I'm making them for myself, so I'm doing the colors I like, and I'm a mom, so I can. So we're doing, and here's the cool thing with these watercolors, and I'm pretty sure you could do this with any watercolor. I know people always ask me about the pans and the tubes and all that stuff, and I don't use those, so I'm not versed in them, and I don't feel comfortable answering those types of questions. But if you are and you can, feel free to leave that information in the comments. I'm all about collaboration, but I love this because when you gently mix these together, where you're just kind of you're not mixing the colors, you're combining them, you're just putting them on the same brush and you don't mix it, they come through when you paint them. So one will end up a little bit more blue, the other one will end up a little bit more purple, um, which I think looks really pretty. So this is wet on dry. This is something I always forget to share with people, even in my classes. My students just know at this point, is this wet on dry or is this wet on wet? And it's a great question. It's one I should always provide before I start, and I never do. I forget. But it is wet on dry. So dry paper, wet paint. And I'm just adding the little bits of the dark dots in the middle. I don't remember what color I used, but you could just do whatever color you want in the middle. I think I just grabbed whatever was concentrated in my palette and added it to the middle. And what makes this really pretty is if you end up doing them with like a cluster of them kind of blossoming out. So the whole idea is to bring them all together in this little cluster, and they're kind of scattering, and then you're gonna cut it to make a bookmark, but you're not going to cut it like a straight bookmark, which is going to be, I think, what gives this its charm. But again, you can do whatever you like. And it really doesn't get much easier than this, does it? It's just the 4 petals in the cross. I'm not sure why. Um, I personally think just for this style, it makes sense to just do the simple 4 petals to give that cohesiveness. You can certainly do a little bit more organic one and mix the petals and stuff, but I also wanted to keep this really simple as possible. I mean, Mother's Day is around the corner, so, you know, if this is a last minute thing for you, you probably don't have all the time in the world to try to figure this out. So this is one of the reasons why. So I'm doing another one. I'm doing them together. It's to me easier. I guess it's more of like an assembly line type process. It's just easier for me to like do the painting all at once and then cut everything together all at once. It's just simpler for me. So this one, the second one I'm doing, I end up liking a lot better because it was a lot lighter. Um, you could see that it's just a very pale pastel type color. Um, and I just really liked it. But I did end up liking both of them. That's just how it is. I mean, when I teach people like, oh, I don't like this one, and they think that's not normal, but it is normal. We always have favorites. We paint flowers. We're going to have a favorite flower we painted. There's always going to be something there where we like it better than the other. And I also found my groove a little bit better with the second one, which I think is normal. The first time you're like, I'm not really, what do I want to do? And then you figure it out. You're like, okay, this is more what I want. So maybe keep the one you don't like as much for yourself and give the other one as a gift. And then, also do this as a greeting card. I'll show you my greeting card in the end. I'm not going to bore you with the how to on the greeting card because it's literally the same exact technique for the greeting card. It's just on a greeting card instead. I'll put a link below for the greeting cards I use for my watercolors. They are watercolor paper greeting cards, which I definitely recommend. Otherwise, if you just use regular paper, you might have trouble with it bleeding through or spreading in a really weird way. It makes life easier to use watercolor paper, and all you really need is 100% watercolor, 100% cotton paper. Sorry, 100% cotton paper to do that. Um, but yeah, see the second one, you could just tell I found my groove with this one. But I didn't want to just show you this part of the video because I think it kind of makes sense to show you guys the process, because a lot of times I see your painting and you're like, oh, it doesn't look anything like your finished product. And then meanwhile, my finished product was, you know, 10 tries in and you're on your first try and you're like, why isn't it looking? So I wanted to show both and just show that um, it can be a process to try to figure out what your groove is, no matter how long you've painted, how many paintings you've done. So I'm just drawing a line using my ruler. My ruler is uh, conveniently the shape and size of a bookmark, so it helps. It's just one of those ones that you pull out of your those little organizers and stuff. It bugs me because it's always in centimeters. That's the only thing I don't like about this ruler. It's in centimeters, and I never do anything in centimeters because we're American. We don't do the centimeter thing. At least I don't. It's just visually I need the inches and stuff. So I'm cutting around. I am using not scissors I should be using because these are sewing scissors, which are nice and sharp and should not be used for anything but cutting the string. But because it destroys it, it dulls the blade. So you shouldn't do this if you have these really nice scissors, but I literally don't have any other scissors. Um, that's a lie. I have other scissors. I didn't have any other scissors that I could cut this with that would allow me to cut around the tiny little petals. So I'm just using them. I don't sew enough for it to be an issue. I literally will just sew a button onto a shirt. That's about the extent of my sewing ability. But you do want kind of scissors where it's easy for you to do this little point on it. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I just cut the edge off of that? That's the top of your bookmark. I do want that kind of blunt edge on the top. I want the bottom to be more of that organic. Then I'm going to punch a hole in the top and put a little bookmark tassel on there. And now I'm just doing some little details around there just to get those petals sticking out. But I just think it's such a fun way to make a bookmark because you don't really see bookmarks in this kind of organic shape. And then you just slip this little tassel through and then put the little tassel knot loop and then tie it taut. You can put a little glue or clear nail polish there to keep that from slipping, but it works without it too. And the second one. So here's my second one. As you can see, I kind of added more flowers to it, and I'm just cutting around it as well, and just repeating the same steps over and over again. So I apologize because I realize this video is the last video I think was over a month ago. I am trying very, very hard to be more consistent with getting my videos out, and it is incredibly difficult for me to do because I am teaching. I'm doing my sip and paints. I probably have about three to four a week So that sucks up my evenings, and then during the day, I'm catching up with orders. And in between that, I am trying to spend as much time with my family as possible because my kids are growing so fast. So the videos end up taking a backseat, not because I don't think they're important. This is actually, I would love for my business to be mostly my channel, but it takes time to get there. And I don't have, maybe one day, hopefully soon, I would love to grow my channel to the point where I can have an editor. Because honestly, it's the editing part of it that sucks up all my time. Everything else doesn't take up as much time because I'm going to be painting these anyways. I'm painting, and then the voiceover, takes as long as I speak. Very rarely takes a long time. So it's just the editing, and I edit out all the little, like, in between things. I speed up stuff. I try to make it not boring. Then I do the close ups. So the editing takes hours and hours to do. Um, so that's why I don't get these out as often as I want. And we've just been hit with a series of just really bad luck at our house. I don't know if I mentioned it. I probably didn't because I wouldn't have been able to mention it. But my soul dog, Miss Maple, she passed in February. Um, she was diagnosed with cancer in December. And she literally, she was totally fine. And then it was such an aggressive cancer. And it took her in 2 months, but it literally sucked up all the time that we had. And thankfully we did have those 2 months, but um that put me, and it happened over Christmas, which is when I'm my busiest. And then I was finally catching up with orders after that. And then our other dog, Peanut Butter, got sick. She's been dealing with something. Fortunately, hers she'll recover from. It was bacterial, but it took a while to figure out what it was, and a lot of trips to the doctor. And so it's been an ordeal. It's, what they say, when it rains it pours. I'm sure you guys can relate, but it's been a really big struggle. Plus, we just moved to New England in October. There's just been a lot. It has been a very crazy 7 months. Very crazy 7 months. So hopefully, I was looking through my order list today, and I'm like, oh my God, for the first time since November, I am not behind on my orders, which, hallelujah, because that was, I'm in such a good mood just because of that. Like, it's just crazy. So hopefully I can put out more videos, but I'm not making any promises because I have the option of either putting out videos that are not edited as well, or just staggering them out. And I feel like quality over quantity is better. So hopefully you guys agree. Hopefully I can grow my channel to the point where I can get an editor, and you can help me with that. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff, share. You know the drill. I'm not going to bore you with it. So this one, I actually remember I didn't like my flowers as much with this one, but I actually ended up liking the bookmark part of it a lot. So it's just, so if I can combine the flowers on the other one with the shape of this one, I just really like this one a lot. And the hardest part for this was really just the cutting. And it is, it's not the smallest paper, or thinnest paper. So it takes a little bit of strength. I mean, obviously not a lot of strength. It's just, it could be hard on your fingers and wrist. But I think it'd be cute. So, you make these bookmarks in your mom's favorite colors. This one I stuck in the sleeve. The other one I didn't. It's up to you. I'll put the links to all of these items below. And then you could do the greeting card as well and stick the bookmark in there. Voila, you've got a gift. And it's handmade. For me, I'm a mom. There's nothing that beats the handmade gifts. So hopefully you found this easy. You don't have to buy these plastic sleeves. You can see the other one. I just did without the plastic sleeve, and I think it looks great. And this one still had that little attachment in there, so I'm just like pulling it off. But either one, the only downfall is, these plastic sleeves, I think they come in like a pack of I think the smallest is a pack of 25, so you end up with a bunch left. And since I teach these classes, I don't mind, but it's up to you. And I think it's just an easy, fun project. Maybe even do this with if you have kids that can paint and you want to do something for grandma. I think it's cute. Everybody loves to read. Hopefully, everybody loves to read. I love to read. Super easy, very simple. You can even make a couple of little smaller confetti type ones and stick it in the greeting card. But here's the finished products. As you can see, the two different types of bookmarks, and then I'll show you the greeting card here in a second with the confetti. But let me know what you think. Hopefully, you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day and had fun painting this. Happy Mom's Day.